Now, the death of a notorious Lebanese militant is sparking tensions between Israel and Lebanon. The Israeli military says someone in Lebanon launched 3 rockets into Israel Sunday. In response, Israel fired artillery into southern Lebanon. Now, no casualties have been reported. Hezbollah accused Israel of an airstrike in Syria, which killed Lebanese militant Samir Kuntar. The Israeli military would not comment on that accusation. Aaron David Miller joins us now from Washington, D.C. He's Vice President for New Initiatives and Distinguished Scholar at the Woodrow Wilson International Center. Aaron, thanks so much for your time. So we have this exchange of gun and rocket fire at Israel's border with Lebanon as Syria's civil war rages on next door. And it was a report Sunday from Hezbollah TV. The Lebanese militant Samir Kuntar was killed in Syria that seemed to set this all off. Why is he so significant to Hezbollah in Lebanon and to Israel as well?
Well, you know, he was actually born before the organization Hezbollah was actually created. And as a Lebanese Druze, he was involved in one of the worst terror attacks across the Israeli-Lebanese border in Nahariya in 1979. And Kuntar was eventually swapped in 2006 for 2 dead Israelis that Hezbollah had taken in an operation several years earlier. So the Israelis traded him. I think what happened was he started running operations in conjunction with Hezbollah and perhaps even in conjunction with the Iranians. And the Israelis haven't claimed responsibility for this, of course. But Saturday's attack also killed a fellow operative by the name of Farhan Shah Alan. So I think this was an effort on the part of the Israelis to demonstrate that they have reach, that they won't tolerate cross-border attacks from Golan. A message perhaps to Hezbollah, but also to Iran. And the Iranians have increasingly become more involved in coordinating, planning, preparation for the possibility of opening up additional activities across the Golan into Israel proper. So I don't think this was score settling, although it could be considered a 2-4. No one is going to miss Kuntar in Israel.
What do you make of the almost free-for-all taking place over Syria right now? You had Turkey shooting down a Russian plane, you've got U.S. forces targeting ISIS but not Assad's regime, and Israel striking Hezbollah targets. I mean, how long do you expect this to last? Because the potential for complications is huge.
No, it is huge, but it's spilled over into Lebanon, into Turkey, into Jordan with threat to refugees. ISIS over the last 2 months has inspired and partially directed attacks against 3 members of the 3 permanent members of the Security Council, Russia, France, and the United States. It's already spilled over. What's so extraordinary is that even with all of this spillage, you haven't seen precisely what it is you're referring to. A major confrontation between the Israelis and the Syrians, a major confrontation between Israel and Hezbollah, any sort of confrontation between Israel and Iran, and of course, the ever dangerous possibility, accidental or willful, of an aerial engagement with the Russians, either the Israelis or the Americans. You haven't seen any of that, which is actually quite counterintuitive, and suggests that the external powers to this conflict, shoot down of the Russian MiG, it wasn't a MiG, it was a Sukhoi, I think, by Turkey notwithstanding, that nobody wants to see this escalate even more. But you're right. I mean, an enormous amount of complexity, been on for 4 years, and I suspect it's going to go on for a good while longer.
Well, we'll continue to watch all of this closely. Aaron David Miller with the Woodrow Wilson International Center. Thanks for your time, joining us from D.C.
Pleasure, Al.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.